As you can tell by the video title, we have some bad news, so allow me to be the one who goes ahead and cracks the bad news first, because nobody likes good news followed by bad news, right? We'd much rather bad news followed by good news. Either way, I've still got to break the news, so let's just dive into what the issue is. So today's Thursday, it's the marketplace update, we get the blog updates, etc, etc, and yes, we do have some really good news, by the way, for the Black Panther DLC, but they made a statement which is basically, in other words, an AKA, can you please stop talking about the future of this game, and potentially please stop talking about Spider-Man's DLC, because what the statement says is, we know you are excited for the future beyond War for Wakanda, and we are too, so expect some news in the coming weeks. For now, our focus is sharing our expansion with you and giving Black Panther his moment in the spotlight. So again, that's literally almost like an indirect regarding the roadmap questions, and I literally said in the video earlier today that, you know, every single person feels like it's a no-brainer that it's going to be, you know, on Monday's deep dive video, or at least teased, because if we're going back to like June, they said back then that, you know, in the coming basically month or two, you'll have like some sort of indication on what's going down with the future of this game. So look, it's not the worst news, but it's still bad news. So I guess we're talking probably September now, if I'm being completely honest, because it says the coming weeks, so I'm guessing they're going to go all out with the Black Panther DLC, which is fair enough, because like I said, it's bad news kind of leveraged with some good news. So let's just continue into what the good news is. So first of all, there is going to be a new event, right? And the new event is the Corrupt Vibranium event, which starts on August the 19th. Now, what it actually says, and this is kind of like just giving a bit of insight on the event and the new status effect as well. It says, unique missions are available for each hero, including Black Panther, that will task you with performing specific feats in Corrupt Vibranium threat sectors. Completing these mission chains will reward you with gear that has the Vibranium status effect, which basically turns all damage dealt to affected enemies into a large kinetic explosion that can hit other enemies and set off chains reactions, basically, right? And I mean, that just sounds incredible, right? So the Vibranium status effect is something that definitely seems like it's going to be a ton of fun. Now, it doesn't actually stop there. You'll be able to see on screen kind of like a teaser of it, basically. So again, it just tells you for like the sectors, etc, etc. Now, what is also interesting is so I've said basically the Vibranium status effect, like I said, is all damaged enemies basically just turn into a large kinetic explosion and then hit the other enemies, and it's like a chain reaction. But what is interesting is there's the development update that gives us a hint at the Black Panther support and Ultimate Heroics as well. So what it says is, here's a hint for Black Panther support heroic. It utilizes technology that Wakanda has developed. Then it says, another hint for Black Panther's Ultimate Heroic is that it shows why he is the Black Panther, and there may also be an outfit that can go with this hint. So again, it's all coming down. If you guys want to dig into actually think what that outfit would actually be, then go ahead and do that, because again, it's definitely opening like a can of worms right there. Now, earlier in today's video, and if you haven't checked that out, definitely go ahead and check it out, I was talking about the whole Doctor Strange situation and how we know that there's definitely some sort of teaser going on, because yesterday there was this video, and you've probably seen it throughout the video actually, because it's really, really important. What it says is, 6 days until, which is now 5 days basically, until you can meet Shuri, okay, and Zoavri, of course, and the Wakandan people in the War for Wakanda expansion on August the 17th. And of course, what you're seeing right here is basically the first step to Doctor Strange's magic, right? So again, it's like that no-brainer element, and again, is it going to be on the new roadmap? Is it not? This is basically what everyone's kind of confused about right now, because we were teased that, of course, you know, the deep dive video, which by the way is going to be huge already. So I'm not trying to sound like I'm genuinely disappointed overall. It's just we kind of want to know what's going to happen after this DLC, right? And again, what I don't want them to do, because this is exactly what happened last year, is they do release a great bit of content. In this case, it was this time last year the actual entire game releasing, of course, and then they went radio silent. Nobody knew what was going to go on with the game, and as a result, people that weren't enjoying it did just go ahead and completely forget about the game. So when they say in the coming weeks, technically now taking into account that I'm assuming it's slightly delayed, it needs to still be present within like a month's time. And the reason why I say that is because should this DLC really live up to absolutely everyone's expectations in general and have very minimal complaints, right? Let's just say the complaints in general were very small bugs and glitches, but the overall sort of DLC was great and people were really enjoying it. Going radio silent and just assuming people are having a ton of fun and the game has basically been revived is not what I think would be a good idea. And again, that's why I say, if that's just me talking on the element of I think we're technically already delayed with this roadmap, so it's if you do genuinely say news in the coming weeks, then ideally make it in the coming weeks, because again, if we're going back on what was last said in regards to in the coming month or two, that's technically no longer relevant, right? So again, it's just taking all of that stuff into account, because I'm sure that, let's just say if it was towards the end of August or literally the first week of September, where they drop the roadmap, and it's actually very clear as well, where you see things like the Spider-Man DLC, the new events that'll be going on in the game, as well as other potential DLC characters that will get their own expansion. It's just making that aware to us, right? Because I would definitely be more appreciative to be in a situation where we get told, none of this content is coming to the game until like December or January even, but to what expect, rather than just you complete a DLC, it goes radio silent for a long time, the player base starts dropping again, and then we still don't know when to expect the next DLC. That's the worst possible thing that can happen, in my opinion, with the whole marketing aspect of things. But that's equally where they've done that the first time round, and now this Black Panther DLC being, as big as it is, almost gave them that opportunity to kind of make that mistake and still be able to grab loads of people's attention, because equally it's not an exclusive DLC as well, and that's a very, very important factor in my opinion. So leave your thoughts on that in the comment section below, but that's going to wrap up this video here. Like I said, there was a video earlier today that was uploaded on the Avengers Game show where we were talking about the ability to actually switch characters when you are in a mission. So go ahead and check out that video. There were tons of other cool ideas as well, but I'll see you guys in the next one. Till then, have yourselves a ridiculously amazing day, and adios amigos.